Hi, this is Linda with Watery Wishes, and today we are going to be creating our own watercolor metallic watercolors, and we are going to be using those metallic watercolors to watercolor the stamp sets Beautiful Flowers and Winter Flowers from Simon Says Stamp. Now we're going to be clear heat embossing some images onto black cardstock, and because we're creating a type of interference watercolor that will actually show up on black cardstock, that's one of the reasons why I'm using it, because they look really pretty on black cardstock. They still show up on white cardstock as well and do look very pretty. But I really wanted to try and do some metallic watercoloring on some dark cardstock. I ran into a couple of problems with my heat embossing. I bought a new heat gun, and it's the Wagner heat gun, and I think I burnt some of the clear embossing on one of the panels, not this one, the other one. So the watercolors didn't buff off where the embossing was as easily. But this project started out as an experiment, so I wasn't expecting it to be 100% perfect anyway. And as the saying goes, don't let perfection be the enemy of good enough. So here I am stamping this a second time, so I've got it on both corners. Clear heat embossing this. And if you get a chance to spend the money to get the Wagner heat gun, it's like night and day. Seriously, worth every penny. The reason I chose now to get one is because they don't make the model that I bought anymore with Australian standards, but you can get it in the US for US sockets. So if you are lucky enough to live in the US, you should still be able to get it. If you live in Australia, I think it's Bev Cross Crafts still has some in stock, and you should really rush out and buy some from them, or buy one from them. So here I'm just stamping like a background pattern with the flowers and the berries from Winter Flowers. And I'm going to be heat embossing this in clear as well. And the clear embossing powder I'm using is the Hero Arts Clear. I'd also like to apologise for the graininess of the footage for this and the next two videos as well. When I got my camera back, I forgot to readjust all the settings because they had, when it was way getting fixed, I think they'd reset it. So I forgot to reset all my settings, and was so eager to get crafting and recording that I got 3 projects made before I even looked at the footage of the first. So this being the first, I've realized that the footage is a little bit grainy. I have since adjusted my settings and we should be good from 3 videos on. So because I don't want to mix the metallic in my palette, I'm putting them onto the glass palette on the tonic matte, and I'm mixing in a little bit of the Platinum Nuvo embellishment mousse. Now, this is the silverish plain neutral color they've got. It does come in many other colors, though this is the one that would probably be best for creating metallic watercolors with, if you want to create a variety. And I was just testing it out on a bit of scrap cardstock there. Now, these colors wouldn't normally show up on black cardstock, and it's the mica in the Nuvo embellishment mousse that allows the, well, it basically reflects the color in the watercolors on the black cardstock. So if you can't afford to buy metallic watercolors, but you've got a watercolor set, invest in some of the Platinum Nuvo embellishment mousse. You can use it as a mousse, you can use it for you can use it as like a texture paste, you can use it to create metallic watercolors. It's very handy. So I'm just coloring in these flowers with the paint, and it's really hard to see where the flowers are because it's clear on black. I've got the stamp packet close by so that I can see exactly what the images are. Here I am just mixing up a little bit more, and I'm going to create an orangey peachy tone. And I created way too much for this one project, and I actually used up the leftover paint. I smushed it all over a couple of pieces of Canson, a quarter of a 9x12 sheet, a couple of quarters. I did some of the red on one and I did the green on another. And I also used up the peachy orange on a piece of white cardstock. I can't remember if it was Canson or not. And I created some lines of the pinky purpley bit before I mixed it with the rest of the red, the green and the apricot. So I've got a striped panel which I still have that I haven't used yet, but the ones that I smushed the reds and the greens on, I actually have an upcoming video using those panels. So here we are, just finishing it up. And you can see how effective it is on that black cardstock. And you can see that I'm nearly finished and I've got tons of that paint left. So this is the finished product for that one and then that one. Now I'm using the Happy Words stamp set. It's a sentiment set from Concord 9th. And I am heat embossing that on some vellum. This is some sparkling silver from Hero Arts. I got it in a kit, but I believe they sell it separate. And I also stamped the exact same sentiment in a Wow gold glitter embossing powder. I was originally going to do them both in the silver, sparkling silver, but I discovered, as you saw, I was like putting it up against the card, that it didn't show very well. So I changed to gold for one of the cards, and I use strips of the, say, mirror cardstock that I got in a previous Simon Says Stamp card kit, and I put that on either side of one of the panels and use the gold sentiment strip on that one. And the other one, what I did to use the silver was I just turned the vellum around and I got out my Distress Oxide in black soot and ink blended on the back of that vellum so that it showed a little better. Now here I am just using some washi tape to stick that vellum sentiment strip on the back of the card. Now I actually use a little bit of multi-medium matte on the sentiment strips and it sort of shows through. Here I'm just slicing the tiniest sliver off the top of the card because it was just that tiny little bit bigger than the panel on top. So yeah, when I use the multi-medium matte underneath where it says Happy Holidays, some of it oozes out on one of the cards and it's visible. So I sort of wish I didn't use it, but as Kelly Latavola says, decisions were made. So we just have to live with the consequences. And I don't think I show adhering, I don't think I got it on film, adhering the piece down or ink blending on the back of it, which I do. So there we go, some non-religious holiday cards created with some metallic watercolors that I created using the Nuvo Platinum embellishment mousse. So I hope you enjoyed the cards. I'll see you guys in the next one, and don't forget, have fun crafting your imagination. Bye.